And Australia being played over in Adelaide, the third quarter final of the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015. And Pakistan, who elected to bat first, have been bowled out for 213. I'm joined in the studio by Michael Bevan, Ian Chappell and Mikey Holding, two probably very happy Australians sat next to me at the moment. Your thoughts on that innings, Michael?
Yeah, well, I thought, they were short, probably 50 runs at least, I would have thought. On a good wicket, it was pretty flat, less carry than what we've seen in past games at Adelaide. And so, I think they probably needed a few more runs. The Australians bowl well, but I just had a feeling all along, given the consistency of the Pakistan batsmen through this tournament, Misbah-ul-Haq needed to play a larger role today, even just to ensure that he was there around 35, 40. He looked quite good while he was there. Didn't score that quickly, but, I felt it revolved around him a bit.
Well, let's head straight to our Pakistan correspondent, Michael Holding. Disappointed with the number of soft dismissals there were for Pakistan?
Definitely. You know that this Australian bowling attack is potent, yes, but some of those dismissals weren't from excellent bowling. It was from bad stroke play, from bad choice of shots. And you'd have loved to have seen them being a little bit more circumspect. Positive, yes, because we know they have to get quite a bit of runs on the board, but I just don't think the shot selection was quite on. We saw too many batsmen, for instance, just picking out fielders out in the deep. Of course, the quote, they were unlucky. The fielder was there all the time. He didn't sneak from into the stands, And if they were a little bit more selective with their stroke play and thought about it a little bit more, they could have made a few more runs. They almost batted 50 overs after losing so many wickets that early. And they got 213. If they had batted the entire 50 overs with a couple of good batsmen at the end, they could have sneaked a 260, 270, although they started that poorly. I don't think they really treated that innings very well.
Yeah, I suppose when you're constantly losing wickets at regular intervals, you're constantly in a rebuilding phase as well, Ian.
Yeah, the problem is, they were always overmatched, and Pakistan batting is very reliant on a couple of players, and this is the problem you've got when you're relying heavily on a couple of players. And it's all right to say they should have been a bit more patient and you should be smarter, but the problem is if you are overmatched, and whilst you probably never admit it publicly, you know it within yourself. If you are overmatched, that's when you tend to think, oh hell, I've got to do something here, and that's when silly shots are played. There's a couple of guys there, Akmal and Afridi, who just have a long history of getting out to stupid shots, hitting guys in the outfield, hitting the ball straight down their throat. You figure that if they haven't learnt by now, well, certainly in Afridi's case it's not going to happen, Akmal probably not going to happen either. But I think a lot of it comes from the fact that they are overmatched, and if you know you're overmatched, that's when you become a bit impatient and you do silly things.
We'll come back to that in just a second, but let's just have a look at the match summary for that first innings then. Pakistan electing to bat first at the Adelaide Oval. They lost a couple of early wickets due to some good bowling from the Australians, but then kept losing wickets. Misbah-ul-Haq got going. He was on 34, not off 509 deliveries. And Haris Sohail was also going nicely, but didn't manage to push on. They kept losing wickets. A couple of contributions from Shahid Afridi and Sohaib Maksud at the end, but it was all about Josh Hazlewood. He came into the side, picked up 4 wickets. All of the bowlers did well though for Australia, and backed up by some very good fielding indeed, and they ended up on 213.